Hi everyone! Welcome to another episode of Maya Eileen Talks. Today we will talk about the Star Trek Strange New World crossover episode with Lower Decks. And my guest today is Tommy of Trek Canon. But first, a note of the host of this podcast. The audio of this episode wasn't great at places, but I hope you will still enjoy this episode. I would appreciate it if you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends and family. In the 21st century, an away team from the Federation starship USS Cerritos arrived at the planet Chromot to perform routine scans on a portal found there. While Ensign Brett Boimer excitedly says that it was discovered by the crew of the US Enterprise, led by Captain Christopher Pike, the founder Trunny insists it was found by an Orion vessel that her ancestor was stationed on. When Boimer has his picture taken at the portal, it unexpectedly activates and he is sucked through to the 21st century, meeting the Enterprise crew. While the crew tries to figure out how to send Boimer back to his time, Boimer tries and failed to avoid divulging knowledge of future events. Nervous around the historical figures he considers heroes. An Orion ship arrives in orbit. Boimer convinced Captain Pike not to fire on the ship, but the Orion beamed the portal from the surface and warp away. Boimer helps the crew track the Orions, and they trade the grain supplies destined for a colony they were carrying in exchange for the portal. The Enterprise crew transports the portal back to Chromot. Before Boimer can step through, Ensign Beckett Mariner emerged from the other side, exhausting the portal's power supply and trapping them in the past. Boimer and Spock fail to synthesize more of the portal's power source, the rare material Huronium, while Mariner talks with Nyota Uhura, her idol, and convinced her to take a break from always working to have some fun. Enterprise engineer Pelia informs Boimer of the irreplaceable nature of the grain they traded to the Orions, and a remorseful Boimer tries to contact the Orions and steal a shuttle to get it back. After Boimer and Mariner are detained and talk with Pike, Boimer realizes there is another source of Huronium on the Enterprise, a piece of the previous ship to carry the name built into the current vessel. On the surface of Chromot, the Starfleet officers encounter the Orions, who receives Boimer's signal. Pike explains the situation, and Boimer mentioned that in the future, Orions are no longer seen as dishonorable pirates, and that one of their friends is an Orion. Pike says they want to send Boimer and Mariner home, and in exchange suggests that history remember Orion scientists discovered the portal. The Orion captain happily agrees. Boimer and Mariner successfully return to the future. Well guys, once again I'm welcoming Tommy of Trek Canon back. Hello Tommy.
Hello everyone.
Long time no see.
I know, we back at it again.
Yeah. And this time we're going to talk about the crossover of Strange New World and Lower Decks.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What is your first impression of it?
Oh, I really loved it. I thought it was one of the better crossovers that they've had.
Yeah, I must say I have postponed to watch that episode for a while because I'm not a fan of Lower Decks, but I really loved this episode.
Lower Decks. Oh, that hurt my heart.
But I love this one, and Boimer isn't that much annoying than he normally
I'm
is.
actually surprised. I'm actually surprised you don't like Lower Decks.
No, it's not my Star Trek, to be honest. Not my track. Then I'd rather watch Prodigy than Lower Decks.
Okay, I gotta ask, why don't you like Lower Decks?
I really need to get used to the comedy in it. And in the first season, I couldn't get it, and I grounded. Like, okay, of course there are great episodes in it, like the one with Tom Paris. Love that one. But yeah, like I said, it's just not the track I would normally watch. But okay.
With me, it kind of grew on me.
Yeah.
It grew on me. After I kind of agree with you. With it seemed kind of childish like season, but I think as a person that's into canon like I am, all of the Easter eggs and little throwbacks and callbacks they have in Lower Decks always gets me.
Yeah, me too. I must say it has started growing on me in the last few seasons. Mm-hmm. It's just, like you said, how more you're rewrites it, how more Easter eggs you're seeing. So what I was saying, normally I absolutely get the nerves of Boimer and Mariner, only this time Boimer wasn't that bad. He's actually quite nice. What?
Nerves. Okay, I got you. Boimer cracks me up.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Especially with the. The fun part was with when he did the Riker maneuver on Pike's saddle.
Like, if you was to take a Trekkie and just throw him into a Star Trek situation, that would, like, if you used to put me, like, one day I just woke up and I was in the Star Trek world, I would handle it just like Boimer. I would find everything fascinating. I would want to do everything. I would want to touch everything. That would be me.
You know what I had to laugh about is that scene with Nurse Chapel and Ortega, that they mess with him in the mess hall. That cracked me up. That was really a nice scene.
I didn't really like it the first season. Her character really grew on me. So, I like the way Nurse Chapel, like the mess hall, and Lower Decks people really have to mess with them. It's all in good spirit.
And what I discovered later on when I was rewatching the episode again, it has been directed by Jonathan Frakes. The episode has been directed by Jonathan Frakes.
And that's probably why it was such a good episode.
Yeah, indeed. So we started.
Whenever Jonathan Frakes, whenever I see his name associated with anything that got to do with directing a Star Trek episode or a movie, I'll always know I'm gonna get a kick out of it.
Yeah. You always will know that it is gonna be good.
Yes. I don't think I've seen a Jonathan Frakes directed episode or Star Trek movie that I did not like.
So we start this episode with an animation form of Lower Decks, and we end with an animation of Lower Decks. What do you think about that?
I thought it was pretty cool because we're watching a Strange New Worlds episode, but it takes place from the perspective of a Lower Decks episode.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was kind of like, hey, we watching the Lower Decks episode that just so happens to feature the crew of the Enterprise. But yeah, it was well done that way.
Is there anything you would say of, I would like to see that back in from Lower Decks or Strange New World?
I'm actually surprised that they don't have more um, crossovers. Especially with all the time travel, shenanigans that they have in Star Trek. But
Mm,
I would love to see them. I would love to see them do that. It the thing is, right? All right, because you know me, I deal with canon.
mm,
So I was thinking to myself, I was like, okay, so the first time that time travel was featured, right, was in an episode The Naked Time, right?
mm-hmm.
And that was after the events of Strange New Worlds. So I find it interesting that they would have a temporal directive. Oh, I was saying that it's odd that they would have a temporal directive during that time when the first time travel episode, I guess canonically, would have been A Naked Time with Kirk.
Yeah.
So I always found it interesting that they would have, already set up a temporal agency, temporal directives, and all stuff like it's just something normal.
Yeah. You know that I am not fond of time travel shenanigans, but I did love it in this episode. What do you think of?
I think in Star Trek they actually do time travel well.
Mm, okay, but that's what I'm getting to is that it's not personally my thing. I don't like it. Only when they did it in Enterprise.
So
Uh, yes.
I, I take it that you don't like parallel universes either.
Mm, it's depend on, I think. Um, so we see Boimer and Mariner reacting from a fan perspective. What do you think about that?
Oh, repeat that. Oh, this reception is terrible. Hmm. Okay. Let me
Boy,
try calling you back to see if the. Let me try calling you back to see if the reception improves because you're breaking up real bad.
all right. So what I was asking was, Mariner and Boimer are reacting a lot from them being a fan of all the characters from Strange New World. What do you think about that?
Mhm. Like I said, that would be the same thing that I would. And you know what? And it's interesting. They kept it real because if you remember, in one of the other famous crossovers, the Trial and Tribulations, Cisco was fanboying over Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I mean, because he's a lot older and the captain, he handled it a lot better. But yeah, man, I thought it was great that because Archer, Pike, all of these people in Star Trek canon are super famous. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So of course it should be reflected like that in canon. That's like going to the museum and seeing one of your heroes. Seeing one of your hero and hero worshiping, and all of a sudden you get to meet them. Oh, that'd be awesome. And then the other thing that I thought was really cool, the fact that Mariner was fanboying over Uhura.
yes.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And
My,
of
my
course,
girl Uhura don't get enough love.
yeah, but also for number one. If
Oh
you
yeah, for Una.
yeah, for
Hmm.
Una, in with the poster and exactly when Boymer told her, well, is because of you I went join Starfleet with that quote of her, and she was
Hmm.
saying, and in one way it was very funny because she was hunting them down, and a bit with Laan did a bit the same. Of in one way they want to know about the future, and then the other way they
Hmm.
didn't.
You know, and All right, I'm gonna have to tell you. If I was in a situation, I'd have broke the temporal prime directive so many times. I'd have been like, "Look, I really need y'all to tell me what's going on. I had this on my mind. I need to know if I made the right decision." But Una, okay, with the crew of the Enterprise, as far as Strange New Worlds go, Pike and his crew, right?
Hmm.
See, if you think about it, that's the most tragic crew of all of all Star Trek canon because of what happened to Pike. Una was in one episode and then you never seen her again, never heard of her. So
Hmm.
it's nice to know that she made a great contribution no matter what ended up happening to her in canon. So it's the same thing with Pike. Same thing with Mbinga. So,
Yeah.
we seen Mbinga, I think in one episode of we seen him there and then we didn't see him anymore, you know? So I think that this crew, having this crew and then having people tell them, hey man, your life didn't turn out so bad, or if it did, you had such a people that they are the most tragic crew.
Hmm.
So we know what happened to Pike, and then to have somebody be like, hey man, although this happened to you, you still had a lot of impact on people. He was never ever seen again, and then to have her go on to be a poster child is awesome.
There was one funny moment as well when Boimer worked together with Spock to that experiment, and then it went boom. And I had the feeling that Spock was even enjoying himself. Can you recall that scene?
Yes, yes, and it's kind of cool how they keep it canon because if you remember like what was it the first episode, he laughed.
Yeah.
He laughed, he cracked jokes, you know. So and then later on, all of a sudden he just normal the way we know him. So it's cool that they gave a in canon reason as to why. All right, and I think that that's crazy and like it little that was cool thing. And the way Spock ran away from the explosion, like
Yeah, that was really funny. I was really thinking, yeah, that is you and Spock, and that reminds me again of that episode. But also, even Boimer was thinking, dude, why are you laughing? I'm not even. That is not how we know you, and not the Spock we need.
and thinking he broke Spock. That's the greatest saying ever. I broke. And Jadzia had the same thought when they seen young Spock.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right? One sec.
So, there's also a moment, and I do think that Boimer said something very wise, and that was about Pike's surprise birthday party. Do you think he's right in that?
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. It's through first season and second season, and everybody who's familiar with Pike knows, how he's going to end up and how messed up that is. And it seems like sometimes in a season they kind of stray away from it, like, oh, get away from it, or it's not going to happen. But we all do. So it was cool how, with telling them, having him go to the party without telling them, kind of why, because they all kind of knew what it was. I thought it was kind of heartfelt, and I thought that gave a sense of depth. That was pretty cool of them to do.
Yeah, and there was
They
another.
normally make Boimler seem like he just, like sometimes you wonder how in the world did he get into Starfleet, and then sometimes
Yeah.
like situations like that, you be like, oh, okay, now I see why he's a Starfleet.
Yeah, and that's also with that he is he I don't know, he doesn't do that on purpose, but he is still having the knowledge, of course, from the future. And for example, when they encounter the Orion, Boimler is still using his knowledge from the future to say, for example, to Pike, those Orions are scientists, and they don't want to harm you. Those are not pirates. I have a great granddaughter of one of those Orions on my ship working together as a colleague, Tandy. And you see that he doesn't want to do that on purpose, but he still blurs it out. What do you think about him being that way to Captain Pike?
You know, if you find yourself in a situation where you know the outcome and you know how things are supposed to go and all that kind of stuff, right? I know it'd be kind of hard, especially if you see that it might have the potential to go off tracks and everything like that, to not jump into it. But I do love the leeway that they gave him, like especially when they had to track the Orion. When they had to track the Orion ship.
Yeah.
Well, if we don't look, if we don't look at them, everything should be okay, right?
Yeah, that was funny, and you know, and that's what I do like about Boimler. Here's a disaster at times, but he knows what he's doing.
Yes, that's exactly what I mean.
And I think,
there's times where you be like, oh, now I see why you're a Starfleet officer.
Yeah. But you also can say that from Mariner. Mariner, yeah, she is just chaotic. And I think the weird thing is that she is serving under her mother. And we all know that's never been done in Starfleet.
Yep.
And also in nowadays, if you see in the forced occupations like military, you can't serve with or under one of your parents or a family member. So that's always a bit a cheeky thing, I think, from Lower Decks.
Well, I don't think nobody else would have had her.
Yeah. They can't handle her.
Now, this is going to blow your mind. You know who she reminds me of? She reminds me, okay, I don't know if you remember the Next Generation episode, Rascals, where Rolaren and all of them got shrunk down to kids.
Yeah.
Right? She reminds me of what the end result of Guinan trying to convince Ro to just be loose.
Yes.
She reminds me of, like, okay, if she finally let loose, she still wouldn't care about rules and regulations and none of that kind of stuff. She reminds me of if Rolaren wasn't so uptight. That if she finally let loose, and that's who she reminds me. It's probably why I like her so much.
Yeah. What do you think about the Orions?
You know, okay, the Orions are touch and go depending on the episode. All right, I'm used to Orion men being big old muscle-bound, Andre the Giant type dudes, and I'm used to the Orion women being fine and have their pheromones, right? So, depending on the episode, you know, the Orion female may have her pheromones, in which case, all right, great, that's canon. But then you have episodes where you got this little skinny Orion dude like they had in that particular episode. I'm like, that's an Orion dude? That dude kind of small right there. But I do like the fact that they go into the Orions a whole lot more than any other series has.
Sorry guys, but I'm going to jump again. I do think those two coming from the future has a good it's a good thing for the crew of the Enterprise, because if we also see of Uhura was just working herself to that, and Mariner got her to relax, and then
I wonder if that was a self-fulfilling prophecy.
I think so. You would think of that, yeah. But it was really nice, because when Uhura relaxed, she could decipher the language, Notion language she was looking at.
Yep.
And yes.
I got to tell you something about this episode that since the first time I seen it, it stood out, and it's been sort of a sore thing with me. She was looking at that tab, sitting at that table with Ortega and what was it? Well, with the other lady, right? Mariner. They were sitting there, and on her pad, real quick, when she was doing the translations, you seen the word Cardassian. Now that had messed with me. Yes, that messed with me because there was no Cardassians in that time frame.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna get loud again. They're knocking on the door. Hold on.
Okay.
So I was like, hold up, how they gonna have? Nah, they didn't have Cardassians, but there it was. So that's my little pet peeve. I'm not gonna mention that no more.
You know what I personally think? In that scene, I think Mariner wanted to get her drunk. And if you see in the ending of the episode, when everything is animated again, you see that they tried that drink again, and everybody went wild in imagination, and Spock's arms were weird, and whatever else more. So I think Mariner also, I don't want to say manipulated it, but more like, fooled them.
She helped it along.
Yeah.
She motivated him. She motivated him. So I gotta ask, right? I wonder how. Oh, I was wondering how long it was that Una was thinking that pinup poster was another type of poster.
Yep. I had no idea.
You know she had to think of it.
Yeah.
You know she had to think of it.
Yeah. Because that's what she said, and then Boemer said, "Well, it is because of the quote." I can't remember what exactly the quote was.
I think it was ad astra per aspera, I think.
Yeah, so something like that, yeah. And when she heard that was on the poster, she was, I think, in one way thankful, but also emotional in the way of, oh my God, they see me not anymore as the augment I am. And I think that do her good, because also what I'm thinking, and I'm thinking that now, I'm wondering what happened to Una after Pike, when Pike dies.
Exactly. That's why I say the most tragic of the crews, because so many of them, you just be like, I wonder whatever happened to them. I wonder what happened to them. You know.
Yeah. Well, we have to wait, of course. Season 3 is coming along. And I also heard, of course, that the movie of Section 31 is start filming.
That's because they was on my channel looking at Star Trek movies I'd like to see made, and they seen that one and was like, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be a lot better than Star Trek Nemesis that I saw yesterday for another episode again. So.
Oh, I'm sorry you watched that.
Yeah, I did have a new episode this weekend as Star Trek Nemesis for my Dutch Trek podcast. So, yep. A lot to talk about, a lot to say about.
You know, hey, did you know that it's interesting that they had Cardassian on it because Setnik 3 was where Chief O'Brien fought the Cardassians. So I wonder if that's why they had the Cardassian there, because they had the Setnik reference in there.
Yeah,
And
maybe.
boy, if I could ever get my hand on some quadrophilic Haley grain, I'd be all right. That's right. You can use that grain for everything, even though Orions love it.
So what do you think of the whole episode?
Oh, like I said, I thought it was great. I thought it was the second best crossover that they've made. Nothing to beat Trial and Tribulations. No, nothing to beat that. But that one was awesome.
Do you think there
What
will?
about you?
Do you think there will be more crossovers like this in the future?
I'm pretty sure there will be, especially since the success of this one and the success of Trials and Tribulations. So, especially with it looks like they're trying to make a Star Trek universe or something like that, especially with all of the series that they got coming out. So, I wouldn't put it past them. And I would be looking forward to it because I wouldn't mind seeing a crossover between something like, maybe seeing Harry Kim as a captain, roll in on one of these shows or something like that. I think that would be great.
Yeah. Okay. There was a Facebook message on, Facebook, and there was that Shirok told them that there was a missed opportunity in Picard that he wanted to make a cameo. And I had the feeling that he was a bit of a jealous. What do you think about if Jake Sisko has come back in a cameo like Wesley Crusher did?
I'm surprised that they haven't asked him. His father is one of, if not the most loved captain in Star Trek history. Yeah, I mean, second only to Kirk, probably. Everybody loves Sisko. So it's interesting that none of them, none of the DS9 crew has made any types of appearances in any of the new shows. That blows my mind. No Dax, no Kira, no Jake, none of that.
But I do think that if Jake would come back in Picard, that it isn't the right series for it, to be honest.
Oh, no, not for Picard, no. Well, I don't know, because they do share, the fact that Picard killed Jake's mom, so, that may be a way of reconciliation between the two. I mean, that'd be an interesting storyline to explore. Hey, man, you killed my mother.
Yeah, but didn't they do that with Benjamin already when Benjamin came to Deep Space Nine to take command and Picard had to instruct him what he needed to do?
Oh, yeah, and he never, and according to that episode, he never forgave Picard for none of that, man. He was like, yo, man.
And that is maybe a different... Of course we have those episodes in Deep Space Nine that they have an older Jake and that Benjamin is coming back for a few minutes and then had to go away again.
Oh, that episode made me cry. That was an awesome episode. Okay. Just had to say that.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't think maybe in another series. I don't know what or why, or maybe he could be a correspondent for in Section 31. Who knows? As an intel.
That would be interesting. It would be totally against his hey, I'm finna go write and be an author thing, but maybe that would be his undercover thing. But as far as Picard, I don't think that they should make another season of that. I think that the last season that they had of Picard with the crew of the Next Generation and how they ended that was just totally beautiful. They should just let that be that way.
Yeah, what I heard just a couple of days ago that of course, the rumors were there that Sir Patrick still want to do one movie with the TNG cast.
Mhm.
And now I heard that they writing it at the moment. So, and he
Well.
is part of it.
Well, that'd be interesting because they all kind of way up there. If they was to make a movie now, they would be older than the original crew in their last movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what Sir Patrick Stewart is almost 80.
He is,
Goodness.
if I'm correct, about 83 or 85. I can't. In that, yeah. But he looks good for 83.
True, but he still can't be dive rolling on people like he used to.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
But I do think maybe they can, and that's what I'm thinking now. You know, the open end of Picard in a way, that Q's coming back to hunt Jack, his son, and maybe they can involve that as in a movie.
Okay. Have Q come back. See, anything with Q in it will always be welcome in my heart. That's just that. I don't care if you bring Q back just to. That was my highlight of season 2, even though they messed him up a little bit. But
Yeah.
but still having him there was awesome to me.
All right. If we're going back to the episode, because we are way apart again, but okay, no problem.
You know how we get.
We know, yeah. You know how we are with talking about Star Trek.
Yes, it starts with Star Trek and goes off into every awesome sci-fi everything. Yes.
Do you want a big spoiler from Star Trek Online?
Do I have a big spoiler for Star Trek Online?
I have a big spoiler from Star Trek Online for you. Because we were talking about Harry Kim. So
right.
In the game, Harry Kim already been altered to a Kobali person, and now we have this Terran, Borg Terran storyline, and now his Terran counterpart has become the Borg King.
Oh, get out of here. See that? Mm-mm.
Yeah.
See? No. Mm-mm. See? That's why I don't know if I play Star Trek Online right there. I would have had to put down my controller right there and turn the whole game off. Nope. Mm-mm. No. Nope. And then I would have to make a video about that. Nope. Mm-mm.
I have a video about that from the whole episode. So I can give you that link if you want to watch what the what the whole episode is.
Oh yeah, definitely send that to me because that deserves a whole big old no.
And you know who is in there as well?
Who?
Asri Dax as captain.
Yeah.
Yes. And Julian Bashir as her husband.
They just reaching. They was reaching.
Yeah.
They was reaching on that. Mm-mm. Nope. No. I don't even see Ezri staying with Julian. I don't even see that happening. No.
But they have the romance in Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, but Dax has a fling with everybody. The only person she was serious about was Worf. No, I don't trust that. I don't trust that they stay together. Nope.
I mean, Asri Dax.
You're right. You can't go from Worf to Julian. How did that work? Nope.
They did, because Worf thought he had difficulties with seeing her as Asri Dax. He thought it was Jadzia.
Oh,
But
yeah.
after a time, he came loose of that, and they still were close, but not as a romantic couple.
But think about it. If you Esri Dax, right, and you didn't just woke up the morning after with Julian Bashir, and you have memories of having been with Worf, I don't see how you enjoyed your night. Nope. No, you can't go from a Klingon war to that. No.
Well, I will send you the link. I will send you the link when I put it again online, because I'm going to record it tomorrow for my fleet. So I will play the episodes as well then. So I will show you. I will give you the link then.
Oh, definitely. And then we both gonna have to talk smack about that one.
Okay, you're right on that. I'll hold you to that. That's gonna be a good one.
Heck yeah! Like what? The Terran Kim is the Borg King. No, we're gonna have to devote a whole 30 minutes to that one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a interesting storyline, and I must say that it is. Oh, and there's another thing in that episode. You will be really assimilated as a drone.
I'm sorry, did you say Q?
No, I said you will be assimilated as a drone.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Q was assimilated as a drone. I was like, no.
No, but that's
awesome.
the first time you play as an assimilated drone, and then Asri Dax will give you some hyper thingy, and then you're back to normal again, and then later on Deep Space Nine you will be treated by Julian Bashir, and then you're normal again.
Oh, well, that's cool. As long as I get to assimilate somebody, I'm fine.
No, you get assimilated. That's what.
Shoot, I'll just go around for a while and just start seeing if I can assimilate a ship. That'll be a game to play.
Well, you know what I did? When I got the nanopro thingies for my ship, I assimilated Deep Space Nine. Or in this case, Torak Nor. I even have a picture for it. I have a picture of it. I will send you to it.
Oh, you gotta send me that. Yes, you gotta send me that. I gotta see the Morgan phone.
Yeah. So that's the things that you can do in game.
That is something that I would do. Yes.
Okay. Well, at the last point, that when Boimler and Mariner are going beam down to the planet, Spock gives Boimler a Falcon salute. Did you see his reaction to that?
Yes, pure joy.
He was in shock.
Yes. It's like, because think of it. Remember, that's when the episode first started. He was talking about the picture that he would like to have a Spock doing just that in front of the thing. So, yeah. So to have that happen, yeah, man. I'm like, oh my God. Knowing me, I would have forgot to take the picture though. I do like when Mariner was saying that she was going to walk around taking pictures with everybody so she could show them to her grandmother in the future.
Yeah.
I'm talking about myself. Oh no, maybe.
Well, I do think.
Yeah, that was a great episode.
Yeah, it was a great episode. I do think that they did a great job as well in the animation, but as also in, of course, in that, but also in the whole storyline of the episode.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Is there anything you would like to change in this episode?
Actually, no. I think they did a great job.
Yeah, I do think so.
I think that was a great job.
Is there anything else you would like to say about this episode?
Well, just keep them coming. Like I said, I like Lord Dex a lot. It's not one of my problem kids. Yeah, I like the humor. I like the Easter eggs, and I do love the references that they always make. Like oh my Q. Like I love that. They talking about some. Oh no, they don't know Q, man. They have more of a Charlene thing. Oh, that's awesome to me.
There was another scene that I want to talk about is the scene that Mariner told Pike that Boimer would dress up as him when it was Halloween. And you remember what Boimer said to Pike as well? Yo, you have great hair.
And a chiseled chin.
Yeah, but also that reminds me of that picture that is going on the web, that they make Pike's hair so high that they call it Pike Mountain. Or Johnny Bravo.
I've seen that. Yes, I've seen that. He does have tall, perfect hair.
Yeah. But I do...
Anson Mount's hair is his own thing.
Yeah, but I think this... you see that there's a lot of humor as well in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is one thing that I really like about it.
And that's what I'm saying. When you mix Lower Decks in, because, the basis of the show is, humor.
Yeah.
So, you can't throw the Lower Decks crew in with a serious situation that's going on. But, yeah, I love the way they did it.
Yeah, me too. Well, if I'm taking a look at the rating of IMDb, it's an 8.3 for this episode. What would you rate it?
Oh, I'm with that. 8. Yeah, I'm with that. 8 out of 10.
Okay.
I told you, can't beat Trials and Tribulations. That's a 9. So, yeah.
Good. Well, I think we spoke a lot about this episode. We had a lot of talk about True, and of course other stuff again.
Always.
As always.
Mm-hmm.
So, Tommy, thank you very much again for this lovely talk. And
anytime.
We will talk soon again, and that will probably about with the musical episode of Strange New World.
Bring it on.
And I'm going to put the other one of this Star Trek Online episode also on it. So, yeah. Thank you very much again, and I see you next time.
Thanks for having me. Always.
Thank you for listening, and join me in 2 weeks for a new episode of Maya Eileen Talks. The next episode is about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You can find the Maya Eileen Talks podcast on Spotify, Anchors, Google Podcast, Amazon Music, and of course on the YouTube channel, or join the Facebook group. I also have 2 other podcasts called the Dutch Ready Room Podcast and Girls Talking Trek. The Dutch Ready Room Podcast is a podcast for all the Dutch Trekkies to talk about everything Star Trek. Of course, this will be spoken in my native language, Dutch. You can find the Dutch Ready Room on the Facebook group and YouTube channel. Girls Talking Trek is a Trek podcast that I used to do with my good friend Amanda. But since her passing, I'm doing the podcast alone. So I'm still looking for another Trek friend who will and have the time to recap with me every 2 weeks an episode of Star Trek. At the moment, I am recapping season 3 of Star Trek TNG.